our time here on Earth is limited, whether it's 99 years or a day, that we're all kind of here on borrowed time. And how often do we kind of hone into that? Should we hone into that? um, but it kind of smacked me upside the head yesterday. So when I found out a little bit more about your diagnosis, we know that you have the Ehlers-Danlos hypermobility type, which is, I don't know if that's the most common, but we know it's a connective tissue disorder. For us, we're very hypermobile, so we have to be really careful with our joints. Being a connective tissue disorder, it means, and I say I actually haven't been formally diagnosed yet, but I, pretty sure when I made the appointment at the doctor's office, I said, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And she kind of laughed. But with you, there's always been more. There's, we look different, we behave different, we have different issues going on. It's played out differently in my life than it has in yours. You're 24 years younger than me. For me, I've always kind of learned to just kind of be careful what I'm doing. And so yesterday I found out that you've told me, I guess I hadn't really looked into it. I hadn't really done a whole lot of, there's 12 different subcategories to Ehlers-Danlos. We know about the hypermobility. You and your younger sister, we were in the office yesterday, same office that you've been going to because they specialize in this. She's been diagnosed with the hypermobility. And it finally hit me because you had shared that you have one of the subcategories. And that subcategory is called vascular. I think it's called
I
vascular.
think so.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't look into it before then, but I'm in the office, and because we have shared that it's okay to talk about each other in the
Oh,
office,
yes, I signed a
let everybody
waiver
know
so
that's
that
clear.
they were allowed to communicate. And part of the reason, not to go off subject, but part of why I did that is that there's not a lot known about Ehlers-Danlos. And so, whatever we can do to help with research to help people in the future along our way, we plan on doing. And if that means making a familial connection, if there is one, then so be it. So, we agreed that we were just going to allow her to share our information, and there might be some relevance to it by having the cases a bit able to communicate each other's diagnosis
Yes,
stuff.
yes, and because it's genetic, and we share some, obviously we share our genetics. Um, anyway, one of them had mentioned, that you have the vascular, and that's when it kind of hit me. They left the room, and I go to my Google to look this up. And of the categories, it is the one that has a decrease in lifespan. It is the most difficult one. There isn't a treatment. Um, and out of the blue, it just hit me like, whoa. And I did my best to compose myself. Um, got out of there. Thank goodness your younger sister was really tired. So she fell asleep. So I was able to kind of be in my head and in my heart on our hour and a half long drive home. Shed some tears. And I don't know, as a parent, I've looked at my own death. Um, and feel like I've gotten pretty comfortable. I don't know if you're ever really truly comfortable with the idea of dying, um, or at least knowing you have a limited time, but there's something different. I think as parents, we don't think about outliving our children, or at least not very often. But that's what came up for me yesterday on my way home and last night. And so I just really felt like it was important to maybe talk about, because, we've talked about your side and we've talked about, that we are on borrowed time, all of us. So how best to live the time that you have here. You've done a lot of work and working on that. I see you working on that. But I don't know that I really had it in my head. I've never thought of the possibility of, I've always thought about you guys losing me, but I've never really thought about me losing you. And I don't mean to be, doom and gloom. And I'm sure, I don't know if you have another 60 years or 10 years or 5 years. But it doesn't matter. What came up for me more than after the realization that, oh my gosh, I never thought about losing one of you, or at least not very often. It might be a fleeting kind of thing. But how much I want to cherish our time